The Notre Dame locker room is open, and we're joined now by student athletes Matt Farrell and VJ Beecham, as well as Coach Bray. We'll ask Coach Bray to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions first for our student athletes. Coach.
That was a fabulous college basketball game. It was an honor to be part of it. Two teams going at it, throwing big punches. I'm certainly very proud of our group in the second half that we played, especially defensively.
Questions for the student athletes only at this time. If you have a question for the Notre Dame student athletes, please raise your hand. We'll send a microphone attendant in your direction. There's one up in the front. It's going to be the left microphone for Howard.
Hi, Howard Megdal with Vice Sports. VJ, question for you. Just, was there a moment where you knew that this was going to be that kind of a shooting night for you? And just if you could take me through what that feels like to go through this entire game without missing a shot.
It was really, no moment that really stood out for me. But I just tried to step up and knock down the shots. My teammates were really finding me. Matt Farrell told me before the game, he was going to find me all night, and he really did. So I was just stepping up, trying to knock down the shots, and I was fortunate that all of them dropped tonight. So,
continuing on the left side of the aisle.
Jamal Murphy, Bill Roden on Sports. For the players, I wanted to know what the atmosphere was like for you guys. It seemed electric out there.
We'll ask Matt to take that first, and then VJ can follow.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that right before this. It was unbelievable. I don't know how it was before our games, but it was awesome to play in that atmosphere. I wasn't sure how many fans we had out there, but it was loud no matter what, and we were just enjoying it, and we just played, our game.
VJ, same question.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Both teams really had great crowds. And, even the fans that weren't really cheering for a team were loud all night, too. So it was just, a great atmosphere to play in.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes from Notre Dame. If there's a question, raise your hand. There's one in the back on the right side. Herbert.
Yes. Herbert Delancey, BSTM. For the players, you all returning next season. How excited are you all that the ACC tournament is going to be here at the Barclays Center?
We'll ask Matt to take that first, then VJ.
Yeah, we're excited about that, but we're focused on the right now. We got a lot of things to fix after this game, so we're not really thinking about that right now. Obviously, it's awesome it will be back here in Brooklyn. Like we said, it's a great atmosphere, but, we're not thinking about that right now. Like I said, we're focused on the next game. This one's over, but it will be exciting.
VJ, anything to add?
It's just a great place to play basketball. Even though we're not really worried about it right now, we still have one game in Brooklyn, but as far as next year, we're not worried about it right now.
Continuing with questions for the student athletes from Notre Dame. If you have a question, raise your hand. We have one all the way on the left side toward the front.
Stephen Brooks, CNHI. This is for both you guys as players. Early in the first 5 minutes, the second half, there were a lot of, sort of emotional changing plays for you guys. Matt hits his first three-pointer, he takes the charge. Steve has a little 5-point outburst there, diving for a loose ball and everything. That first 5-minute swing to get you guys emotionally back in it at the end of the first half wasn't very good. How much did that, some of those emotional plays impact you guys?
Once again, we'll ask Matt to take that first, followed by VJ.
Yeah, when I saw Steve get on the floor and him showing emotion, I knew we were going to go on a little run. You never see that guy smile or anything. So, it was awesome to see that. And, we got a little challenge in the locker room, so we wanted to come out with that edge that we always try to play with. And we went on a little run, made some big plays, and once everybody got involved, it was just fun. It was fun to play that way.
VJ.
Just like Matt said, those two things, Coach really getting into us at halftime, and then Steve, just the way he came out. He had a voice, he was talking to us, and anytime he's like that, it's great for us.
We have time for one more question for the student athletes from Notre Dame. We're going to go to the left side of the aisle.
Chris Barca, SNY. For both players, Demetrius didn't have necessarily the best scoring night, but you guys were, 4 guys in double figures, 5 guys, 9 or more points. Exactly how deep is this team, and how deep can you guys go, even without, arguably your best player really chipping offensively? How long can you guys go in this tournament?
And again, we'll ask Matt to take that first, followed by VJ.
Yeah, we got a lot of great players on this team, and everyone believes in themselves, and we believe in each other, which is most important. If Meech is not having a great night, everybody on the floor is in his ear, everybody on the bench is in his ear. He helped us in so many other ways. the special player that he is, and you just try to pick up the slack. And no matter who's in there, they're going to play 100%, and they know all their teammates got their back. So I think we're a very deep team.
BJ.
And I just think, as far as Demetrius, he was still great tonight, even though his shot wasn't really falling. Just looking at the numbers, I think he was great in the second half on Walton, defensively. And anytime he's playing downhill for us, that's what really helps our offense get going, even if he isn't scoring, just getting that movement from him.
We'd like to thank Matt and VJ for joining us here in the main interview room. They're going to head back to the locker room, which should still be open for another 10 minutes or so. Thank you. Great job, guys. As soon as Matt and VJ clear the dais, we'll take our first question for Coach Bray, which will come to the right of the aisle. Josh.
Josh Newman, Asbury Park Press. No matter how much or how little Matt's playing, is there a certain trust level that you can throw him in there for a spot start and you guys really don't miss a beat?
Yeah, I thought, he gives us another ball handler on the floor. I think it helps Demetrius. I thought, he had 4 assists. He makes some plays. I thought he was really good defensively. It's interesting. He helped us win a bunch of games early. Then we got away from him and we were winning. But I give him a lot of credit because, he kept the great attitude because that's hard, playing early, then not playing. And then we ask him and we throw him in there to start, and he really delivered. But his teammates are confident in him. I'm very confident in him.
Staying toward the front on the right, Howard.
Hi, Coach. Over here. I'm curious, defense has been sort of an intermittent presence for your team this year. But you held Michigan below 30%, terrific shooting team in the second half. Wondering what you saw, whether it's effort, whether it's something else schematically, and whether you think this was any kind of a breakthrough for the team.
I think this was a lot like some of our really good wins, North Carolina, Louisville, where we almost have to have our life flashing before our very eyes as we were at halftime to really dig in and defend. A lot of our great wins, we were down, and it was almost like, well, we got to dig in, and we did. Again, to hold them to 22 or 23. We can play it when we need to. I'd like to see us play it a little longer, quite frankly, and maybe I'll mention that tomorrow.
All the way to the right in the back, Tim.
Mike, Tim Bontis from the Washington Post. At the other end of the court, you guys really couldn't miss a shot the whole game, it seemed like. I know you threw the ball around a little bit in the first half, but how much of that was stuff you guys are doing? How much of it do you think was breakdowns from Michigan?
Yeah, this is 2 out of 3 games where we've had 15, 16, 17 turnovers. At one point during most of the season, we led the nation in least amount of turnovers at 9. And I asked him, can we shave it down to maybe 10 on Sunday and not throw it all over the place? Now, we were better in the second half. And I think what helped us was we only played one big guy. It helped us defensively, and it helped open the floor for some driving areas and to get some screen roll stuff. And, I have a feeling we may be in that a bunch on Sunday.
We're going to go to the left of the aisle, Jaden.
Mike, Jaden Daly, Daily Dose of Hoops. You've always had a wing on the outside that can really stretch the floor and hit perimeter shots. VJ Davied had tonight. He had a big game, too, against Duke in the ACC tournament with Tim, with Ryan Ayers before that. How much has he evolved into that role, especially this season?
Well, I'm really proud of him because a year ago, he didn't have a very good postseason. We didn't even play him. I didn't even play him in the NCAA tournament. He really struggled. And for him to turn around and deliver like he did in D.C. and deliver like he did tonight when we really needed him, it's just, it's a great kid who's grown and matured, and now as a junior is really a key guy.
Another question to the left of the aisle.
Coach, any thoughts on Stephen F. Austin? Are you familiar with them?
Yeah, and I know Coach Underwood. We're both Under Armour guys, so we spent time together at a couple of the Under Armour events, and he was trying to get me to play him, and I said, no way, but now I got to play him no matter what. He's done an unbelievable job. All I know is West Virginia had 22 turnovers, and we've been throwing the thing and hitting most of the concession stands, the last 2 weeks. So we better be good with the ball. They play with great energy. They're a tough bunch. I was impressed. I watched before our game. They have a great toughness about them. We got to work. This is an ACC game. This is an ACC game. Tonight was an ACC game. We got another ACC-level game on Sunday.
We're going to go to the right of the aisle, but we're using the left microphone. Josh?
To go back to Matt for just 1 second. He came from a small high school. The level of competition was not great. Then, he steps up to Notre Dame, steps up to major college basketball. How much of a struggle was it for him early, and how much has he come along here through 2 years?
I think he's really learned a lot. Now, you think about what he has to deal with. He guards Demetrius Jackson every day in practice. What a great challenge. And he more than holds his own. He's really improved defensively. And even though he had a couple turnovers tonight, overall, he's understood how to be better with the basketball. He's always been able to score it and take shots and make shots. When he plays for us, though, he gets our shooters shots. It's not just Demetrius breaking people down and making the extra pass. And he did that in the last regular season game against NC State. And, I felt we could come back to it. And, you ask him to start and he delivered. I'm so proud of him.
Is there a final question for Coach Bray?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. See you tomorrow. The Notre Dame locker room may be open for a few more minutes or maybe not. About 5 more minutes, the Notre Dame locker room's open.